where in our ordinances does it state the information about these commissions and these appointments? Can someone please list me the ordinance that I can look this information up?
I don't understand the
I
question.
don't even understand the question. The First Class Township Code provides for the various boards and authorities that townships can have. And I assume that they also say how you can make appointments to it. And it's up to the Board of Commissioners in First Class Townships to make the appointments. And I assume that you can do that in, if you get 3 votes on this board, you can make an appointment. It's a majority vote to do these types of things. Doesn't usually take that. It's usually done unanimously. I can't remember a time when somebody volunteered to serve that somebody said, "No, I don't like that guy."
Well, Mr. Metz just said there have been occurrences that happen.
There have been occurrences in the past where, for one reason or another, somebody's service is ended, and there's a number of reasons. Sometimes medical reasons, where people are, they've reached a point where their service really has become difficult.
Or their job.
Or their job.
Or a conflict of interest.
Or conflict of
or
interest.
they relocate.
Relocation,
Family
right.
medical issues.
There's a whole number of reasons.
Right.
And so there's a number of reasons why you would do it. But I have to tell you that the people who serve on our boards are wonderful, wonderful people. We really are blessed. I don't know how else I can say it. But when I look at the people that volunteer their hours and hours that they put in on the different boards, we have planning commission, zoning hearing board, and so on and so forth. It really is. We have so many benefits from those people that it warms my heart. So, but we'll do it. It's another suggestion that we're going to take and we'll do it. Anything else on the question?
No, sir.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
The next item, Commissioners, having just made it through a very rainy trick-or-treat schedule tonight, I was hesitant to bring this back up on the agenda, but for informational purposes, October 31st falls on a Saturday in 2020, and traditionally the course of action would be if trick-or-treat fell on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, that it would be scheduled for a Thursday. If it fell on Monday through Thursday, it would occur on the exact date. There's no right answer to this. There are some people that are adamant that trick-or-treat must occur on October 31st, and then there's some people, including the chief, who has concerns about it being regularly scheduled on a weekend. And quite truthfully, this year we experienced a situation where the rain caused it to be in the next month rather than in October. So I don't know if you're prepared to make this decision this evening. Eventually the staff will need to have information to publicize on websites and recreation brochures, but defer to you if you wish to take action on this tonight.
Personally, I prefer to do it on October 31st to start it off, and
Well,
I think the issue that we had this year, though, is want to make sure that we have a backup plan.
Then Thursday would be the backup, but you can't you have to do it the other way.
Right.
So you would have Thursday with Saturday as your backup. But if you do it Saturday, then you're.
I've sided with the purists on October 31st as being,
I know.
that's my preference.
I know.
I take that out there.
It just,
That's
your
it.
rain date then presumably for my sanity would be Monday.
Okay.
Wow. I know what we went through this time.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. Or even
But
if
they
you,
were able to get their candy in November,
If
so
you- if
it was
you-
not the worst thing.
yeah, if you try not to set a date and let it go willy-nilly throughout the township, that wreaks havoc too, so.
One of the issues, and this is, I don't know if the Council of Governments, why they get out of it, but the whole idea was, years ago, was for everybody to have it the same night, so that people didn't drop their kids off in one development one night, another development another, in different townships, or different boroughs. So you go to Camp Hill one night and do your trick-or-treating, and then everybody gets in a car and drives to East Pennsboro, and they do trick-or-treating again there, and then they go to the next place. So if everybody does it the same night, then people tend to stay in the areas where they.
I can't right now advise you what East Pennsboro, Silver
No.
Spring Township, or any of the other adjacent municipalities and boroughs are doing.
Is COG getting out of, are they out of it?
When I became involved in the COG, the COG got out of setting the date for municipalities.
That's probably.
It's your fault. Yes, I'll take, because again, and everybody went towards the October 31st, generally went to October 31st, so when that's on Monday night, because it rains on Saturday. You can blame it.
I bet you the Eagles be playing that night too.
No, we don't need to make it beforehand.
It's best to have what John said years ago.
And you can, and the other thing is, the police department needs some heads up, because they schedule, we like to have officers and cars in the neighborhoods when the children are walking in the street.
I'm imposing a deadline on this deliberation, so.
Chief, is there any impact on it being a Saturday night?
The only concern with Saturday night is you just have a lot more people out and about, you have other activities going on, and our call volume is higher on Saturday nights. Now, not generally between 6 and 8, but,
Any known issues this year, since it was rescheduled to a Saturday?
we just pulled out the wraps and went around.
I'm glad I don't have to make this decision, so.
Yeah, this is terrible.
We don't have to make a decision now.
No, I'm going to make a motion here then.
Wait till September.
Set it for Saturday, October 31st with the backup date Monday.
I have a motion, is there a second? Motion fails for lack of a second.
Oh, man. This won't be put back on a future agenda.
Anybody else have, do I have a motion to table this?
No, I'll make a motion to do it on the Thursday with Monday as the backup date.
With Saturday as the backup?
Saturday is the backup.
Saturday is Halloween.
Saturday is the backup.
So the motion is Thursday and Saturday is the backup. Second.
Now I have a regular motion that's been seconded. Is there anything on the question? Audience, anything on the question?
So please, someone give us feedback. This is the biggest decision all night.
Somebody should have seconded Mr. Silcox's motion.
Couldn't
On
get one
Bob
there.
Gracie, 106 Brentwood Road. 506 Dewberry Road.
Now I know where to go for candy.
And their full-size bar.
All right.
Let me write that down.
And that's on the record.
All the children in Hampton know where you are. All right, anybody else on the question? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed?
No,
I think the motion passed. Let me double check.
I
Can
didn't hear 10.
What did you say?
I didn't say it.
You want to vote on this or not?
Well,
You got a conflict?
what day or so?
Thursday and Saturday is what's in there. Thursday,
Saturday.
Saturday.
So the dates, just so I'm straight right now, are Thursday 10/29 and then Saturday 10/31.
correct.
And I'm guaranteeing it will rain cats and dogs both days.
Well, I just wasn't ready to do it. I just felt that
Well, people have to plan. The kids have
We
to
can always
plan
change
their
it.
costumes.
You can always change it, Ken.
We got lead times for publications.
All right, the motion passed. And if everybody else changes it, then we can bring it back off the table. But we're still with you.
I'm suggesting that you move to item 16, adjournment. So the next important decision is the tentative date or formal date assignment for the tentative 2020 Fun Food Fest and Fireworks. All we're asking for this evening is if you consider pursuing a fireworks event by offsetting the cost through corporate sponsorships as you have for the last several years, that you set a date so that we can issue RFPs and then report back to you the costs associated with it and pursue sponsorships. Staff's recommending that you not hold it, and again, there's no right answer to this, on Saturday, July 4th, primarily because of the fact that you have difficulty getting contractors and pay a premium. So I'd suggest, if you're interested, Saturday, June 27th with a rain date of the 28th.
Anybody have a problem with that? What about the Fun Food Fest?
That's the same
I
thing.
mean-
That's the thing.
So all we're doing is setting the date so we can issue
Yeah,
RFPs
okay.
and report back to you the cost for the contractors.
Okay, I would say that, you need a motion? Okay, you have a motion,
Second.
and it's been seconded. Anything on the question on that motion? Anything from the audience? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, one other matter for information for the audience, since I know there are a number of people in the audience that were present at a prior board meeting. I was contacted by Silver Spring Township Manager earlier today indicating that they'd like to propose a draft public outreach meeting by Silver Spring Township and their traffic engineers, HRG, to the residents along Salem Church Road. The tentative date at this point would be December 10th at 6 p.m., site to be determined in the township. Notices would be mailed to property owners directly fronting Silver Spring Road, and of course we post a notice on the website in case anybody else from the community would want to attend. I'm not suggesting that any member of the board need attend this meeting. This is an opportunity for Silver Spring Township and their engineer to address questions and concerns of the public.
Just for that weekend, is my recollection.
No, this is just the public outreach
No, I
date,
meant
but the dates and times haven't been set for that, but they're proposing the possibility of a 3-day detour, up to a 3-day detour of truck traffic on the Salem
Yeah,
Church.
this is the meeting that we requested that they perform for the residents to
Correct.
get the input.
It's not a township meeting, but their outreach meeting, so.
Can we push that out a little, out till January? So give the opportunity to get the word out to everybody on Salem Church Road. Even if they're mailing it, you're looking at the 10th, so you're looking at what, 3 weeks? Right after Thanksgiving, right in the middle of deer hunting season.
And Donald Trump is coming to Hershey on December 10th.
So,
They just announced it, so I don't know, just putting that out.
try and do it after Christmas.
I'll make that request and see if they're agreeable to it.
You know his name?
Calvin Bard.
Yeah.
I knew.
148
I
Salem
just
Church
didn't know.
Road.
He's the,
I knew you were.
he's the chairman, he's the chairman of the committee out there.
So, Mr. Bard, just for a follow-up though, this outreach meeting would then eventually circle back with the Board of Commissioners at a public advertised meeting of the commissioners so that those items could be rehashed. I'm not confident of the timeline that they're sensitive to relative to trying to get their permits into PennDOT and get the project approved. So I'm not sure I'll be able to push them for that, but I hear you.
Either that or push it like out after.
Well, the board meeting date would definitely be, at this point, the end of January.
Yeah.
She's indicated that the same night that this board is reorganizing, so is Silver Spring Township. So if they hold the outreach on the 10th because of timelines and their pressure from their supervisors, then at this point, I believe they'll be making a presentation to the commissioners and audience at the proposed January 30th Board of Commissioners meeting.
Either that or can we at least gain a week?
I'll do my best.
See if we can gain us a week.
Let me see what I can do. But
That's
Just so-
get us- Yeah, get us out to like the 12th or whatever week to 10 days.
all right. I have nothing further.
The meeting schedule.
Yeah, so I defer to the board if you wish to discuss the draft meeting schedule dates. Couple of anomalies would be the required reorganizational meeting on the first Monday of January, so that date of January 6th, unless there's some type of significant conflict for a quorum, would be the set date for your first meeting in 2020. The rest follow the tradition of the last Thursday of the month, and then you get to the tail end of the year, and for your consideration, proposing the possibility of Tuesday, September 29th. That's a result of your Pennsylvania State Association of Township Commissioners Annual Conference conflicting with what would have otherwise been the October 1st date, a Wednesday, October 28th. That's a result of the fun discussion we just had about trick or treat. Tuesday, November 24th, as a result of Thanksgiving, and then Wednesday, December 30th. Those are the anomalies. I assume you'll want to keep your board meetings at 7:30, and that the other board meetings would remain at the same date and time, but I need to get to the point where I can publicly advertise these dates, get the rooms scheduled, get staff scheduled, and then post the information on the website.
The only thing that I would change here was the planning commission moving that May 13th to Wednesday that week, May 13th.
Wednesday, May 13th, okay?
Accommodate the waiting items.
Got it. Any other comments on your draft meeting dates?
No, someone would make a motion to approve the dates with that revision?
Move.
Moved and seconded to approve the dates with the one revision. Anything on the question? Or audience? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That's it for me, sir.
Thank you very much. Audience participation, any item off the agenda? Kathleen?
Yes, I have a question, a request that, the items that are on the agenda, for example, this 2020 meeting schedule, you all sat there and were able to read that information, but we're here in the audience, we don't get to have that option. So that when you post the agenda on the website for people to look at, can you post the, like, attached documents with it? That would. And that would be appreciated that you could post the draft minutes, because how can we have an opposition or a discussion about your voting on passing the minutes if we don't even get to review them?
So I'll attempt to address that and not be argumentative in any way. One, it would seem to me that as manager, me proposing future meeting dates without the knowledge and input of the commissioners and their confirmation on their availability would lead to confusion for the public. And eventually, now that it is advertised or approved, there's ample information out there so that the public is well informed about the future meeting dates. I highly doubt that unless it's a special workshop, any member of the community, including myself as a resident, would dictate when a commissioner has a meeting for addressing public business. That's my own personal opinion. As far as draft meeting minutes, I'll defer to the solicitor, but I don't believe they're available for public review until the Board of Commissioners take action to approve them. Then they're made available. You've sat through these meetings and know everything that we've talked about.
Okay, I do, but not everybody else does. And one of the things is
They do once the minutes are posted.
But I also attend the Cumberland Valley High School board meetings, and on their board docs, they attach the draft minutes with draft watermarks on their paper so that people can read the draft minutes.
So the concept being a draft meeting minutes that show prior Board of Commissioners action, that a member of the public could come and object to that being already acted upon, is confusing to me. And I'll leave it at
Well, it's
that.
also confusing to me that I attend the meetings. I don't get to see what's written down but my comments and that you approve, and I don't get to see that. If these are public, open meetings, okay? I don't understand why this is just about providing information and transparency and communication to the residents.
At this point, I will defer to the commissioners to give me direction as manager.
I'd like to add something to that. I think one thing, one reason that, Dave Fish, Lamppost Lane. One thing, I think what a lot of people are interested in
is that the agenda for the October 30th meeting is posted online. They would like to know on November 2nd, what were the final decisions on the resolution, the items are there. So if the draft minutes were posted, people could at least see, hey, on item 52 or item 5, this decision was made, the vote was
You're
made.
apparently not aware of this, but Dr. Arcot is, because we had this discussion months ago. Shortly after the board meeting, action items were posted under the administration section of the website. Those action items show just specifically what was taken action upon by the Board of Commissioners in advance of the draft meeting minutes that lag 3 to 4 weeks later for being approved. So that information is out there. It's available on the website under action items. And Kathy works with me in short order within less than half a week to get those action items posted. Those aren't the official meeting minutes, but it does show what the board took action upon this evening.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kathleen.
Well, I'm not done yet because I didn't get a response.
Yes, you did. He said that the action
I don't,
items are posted.
no, what I requested was that the draft minutes, that,
Okay.
you know, we can add them, you know, I don't know, Mr.
Kathleen,
Gaspich, I don't know who has children that go attend Cumberland Valley School District. And if you see, when they have a consent agenda, okay, they will list, and they will say consent agenda, and then they will list individual items, and they will have documentation to accompany what is being voted on, so people can read ahead and know what's going on. Okay? When you guys sit there and talk really quickly and muffled and stuff, it's really hard to sometimes follow. And I know you're doing your best, but I'm just saying, I don't understand why the hesitancy for the transparency and provide information and make ease of access for the residents.
I think part of the answer is that.
Speaking to the
I'm sorry.
microphone,
Thank you. It takes a while before a secretary or administrative assistant can get the minutes done or somebody is filling in her place. Some of them get very lengthy. A meeting, that goes into 11 o'clock at night is an awful lot for her to have to listen to the tape. And she does that. Then she has to get it out to the commissioners to review, and we all do that, and that takes time. And so by the time you get that done, she's near getting close to the next meeting before she can have that done into the hands of the commissioners who have to read through it. I know there were times I spent a couple of hours after getting those minutes to make sure that they're correct. And I think the others do it as well. It's just a timing concept. And it's something that, as I said, with the action items being posted in advance, the minutes themselves just take a long time.
Well, when do you receive the finalized minutes that you're gonna vote on tonight, that you
A
voted
few
on
days
tonight?
before the meeting,
2 days?
a couple of days.
we got them Friday.
So when the agenda comes
So
out?
we got them Friday, and I spent my weekend on township business reviewing the minutes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Gaspich, for doing your job. Okay?
Well, thank you for thanking me. Jeez.
But if the agenda comes out, and if the minutes that you received, that are the ones that you voted on, then I don't understand why they cannot be attached with the agenda.
Because we all made changes.
Well, you just said the ones that you voted on, you received Friday.
No.
That was
We
the
get
draft, and we reviewed them and made changes. And then they go back around for all of us to see any corrections or additions or anything like that.
I have no comprehension of the size of the administrative staff at Cumberland Valley School District, but I've got one executive secretary